How to Think Like B Rabbit from 8 Mile. Now 8 Mile is without a doubt one of the greatest rap films of all time. And even though the film is based on the character of Jimmy Rabbit, the story is more so about the real life portrayal and struggles of the rapper Eminem. And in this video, what I'm going to explore are the two main strategies that we can learn from him, to which you can use to get that one step ahead of your opponents and your competition. Whether that's in your life, in your business, or in yourself. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn how to think like B Rabbit.
Look, if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, one moment that you captured, just let it slip.
Now the whole premise of 8 Mile is that if you have that one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Now this bar is essentially what the whole film is based upon. The point that there are times where life finally gives you the opportunity you've been waiting for. A moment for where it's your time to shine, to take advantage of that moment. Now this all sounds great, but I know you may be thinking, how exactly can you do that? What can you tangibly and strategically do to ensure that when the moment comes, you don't fuck it up? Exactly like how Rabbit does at the beginning of the film. Well, this brings us to the first strategy that I want to break down for you, which is the fourth strategy of war, which is to create a sense of urgency and desperation. The death ground strategy. Now what this strategy is all about is putting yourself in a position known as death ground, which is a position where your back is against the wall and there's no way out. Now this definitely may sound scary and intimidating at first, but what putting yourself on death ground actually means is to put yourself in a position where you only have one of two options. You either give up and let the enemy kill you, or you draw your sword and fight like hell to get out of there. And what this death ground phenomenon does is it creates a huge sense of urgency and desperation inside of you to defeat whatever you're facing. And this is the exact strategy that Rabbit used in 8 Mile, and is something that M used in real life to achieve his dreams. We first see Rabbit at the beginning of the film completely choke and flop his performance at the shelter. It was his moment to shine and he fucked it up. He was on death ground, but he couldn't deal with the pressure of having his back against the wall, leading him to just give up and get killed. This leads us to follow the story of not just Rabbit's life, but of Eminem's life, witnessing the struggles, the city and the environment that he was from, and all the constant bullshit that he had to deal with on a daily basis.
Fuck you! What's your problem, you little ingrate? You, what's your problem, bitch? Don't pick my fucking joint, man. You don't dare fucking judge me, man. Why don't you grow up? Going around here acting like a fuck. Motherfucker, before, man. What's up?
We even get to witness Rabbit experience many moments of despair and almost giving up on all of his dreams of becoming a rapper.
So, you ever wonder at what point you gotta just say fuck it, man? When you gotta stop living up here, start living down here.
It's 7:30 in the morning, dog.
But even though Rabbit gets physically and psychologically beaten to the point where he feels as if he wants to give up, by the end of the film, we see him overcome that feeling by realizing that he has nothing left to lose. He puts himself in a position to which he faces an enormous amount of external pressure to perform, i.e. death ground, a position where you have no alternative but to fight or die. What this all shows us is that sometimes in life, when you have too many options or a secure safety net to fall back on, this can make you feel quite unmotivated and extinguish the fire burning inside of you. But when you limit those options and put yourself in a position to where your back is against the wall, this is what will release the killer inside of you. And it's only then people will see the flaming fire burning in your eyes. is.
B, they're calling your name. You drew lickety split in the first round. You okay with that?
Yeah. Don't give a fuck who it is.
Now there are multiple tactics that you can use in order to put yourself on death ground. And I do dive into this much deeper in my how to develop Spartan level toughness video. So if you want a much deeper analysis of this strategy, then make sure you go check that out. But the main aspect of this strategy is to find a way to create that external pressure to close in on you and put yourself in a position where you have no other option but to fight. This can be achieved through the use of deadlines, accountability partners, making it you against the world, and acting before you're ready. This is why I feel like Future is a real OG and a true friend, as even though Rabbit didn't want to battle again, he still signed Rabbit up to compete. Again, forcing him into the position of death ground to get the fire out of Rabbit, even when he didn't want to.
Hey, man. I apologize.
Stop it. Don't do it. I didn't even trip. But you just make sure you flip the script on this shit tonight. You understand me?
Now, even though acting before you're ready is a good tactic to use to put yourself on death ground, one of the most powerful tactics to use is to sometimes stake everything on a single throw. Just like how Rabbit did, he put himself in a position where he risked the only thing that he ever truly had, which was his reputation as a rapper. The final rap battle against the Free Will Rappers was more or less his last chance to prove to people that he was in fact a skillful rapper, which is what sparked and fueled him to bring that mad energy and fire to the battle, which is what leads us back to the main premise of the film, the fact of making sure you capture that one shot or one opportunity when it arrives with the utmost intensity.
Turn around with a great smile and walk my white ass back across 8 miles.
Now, even though this is something that you shouldn't resort to all the time, you have to be absolutely blind to not see the power of what using the death ground strategy can do for you. For whenever you're feeling tired or unmotivated, or for when you seem to have lost that drive, to create that sense of urgency once again, and light a fire up your ass to get you to fight with the utmost intensity. But as much as this is a powerful strategy, it's not something that you can purely rely on alone. As much as psychological strategies are useful in war and business, you're also going to need to have technical strategies in order to get that one step ahead of your opponent. And this is where the next strategy comes into play, which is the 26 strategy of war, which is to deny them targets. The strategy of the void. What this strategy is all about is giving your enemy no place to attack and no place to use their strength. Given that you've offered no point of attack, your opponent's mind will then become frustrated and overwhelmed, catching them off guard and making them feel anxious, which is what will usually lead them to their own demise. And this is exactly what we see B Rabbit do in the final rap battle. After bringing some mad energy and absolutely destroying his opponents in the first 2 rounds, Rabbit's on an absolute high, but it's only until good old Cheddar Bob hits him with some cold hard truths that snaps Rabbit back to reality.
Are you worried about what he's gonna say? What do you mean? You know, about Wink and that Alex bitch getting it on and then beating you up and giving you a black eye and shit. Come on, Cheddar.
Fuck all that. Listen, you're making history.
Now, I know Cheddar Bob is a bit of a dumbass, but the fact that he mentioned this is in actual fact quite genius of him. What MC Bob made Rabbit realise was what Papa Doc was most likely going to say, and he realised that Papa Doc had a shit ton of leverage and many potential points of attack. Now, this feeling of someone having hella power and leverage over you can be extremely frustrating. I mean, since the majority of us aren't exactly born with a silver spoon in our mouths, it's almost inevitable that we all have or will eventually fall victim to someone who has more resources than us, more skill sets than us, and overall, people who have just way more advantages over us. But this doesn't mean that all hope is lost. No, on the contrary, this can in actual fact play to your advantage, which is exactly what we see B-Rabbit do. Papa Doc literally has an entire arsenal of weapons that he can absolutely destroy Rabbit with. So what does Rabbit do to overcome this? He flips the script and takes all that leverage away from him. He takes all the ammunition that Papa Doc had loaded for him and makes it completely indispensable.
This guy ain't no motherfucking MC. I know everything he's got to say against me. I am white. I am a fucking punk. I do live in a trailer with my mom. My boy Future is an Uncle Tom. I do got a dumb friend named Cheddar Bob who shoots himself in his leg with his own gun. I did get jumped by all 6 of you chumps. And Wink did fuck my girl. I'm still standing here screaming fuck the free world. So never try to judge me, dude. You don't know what the fuck I've been through.
What we see Rabbit expertly do is take a guerrilla war type of stance against Papa Doc's more conventional type of war stance. The essence of guerrilla warfare is typically adopted by smart strategic leaders whenever they're facing a much larger enemy who has way more advantages. I mean, think about it. If Rabbit tried to battle Doc in a more upfront, conventional and direct way, he would have got absolutely slaughtered. But by battling him in a more indirect and guerrilla type of way, he was then able to destroy all of Clarence's leverage and put a void on all of his advantages. By removing all of Papa Doc's leverage, Rabbit was not only then able to level the playing field, but he also was able to tip the odds into his favour. As what could Clarence do? Rabbit literally destroyed his whole game plan, and it basically narrowed down his once wide range of attack to virtually nothing. This feeling of having no place to attack and no way to use his strength created the feelings of anxiety and frustration in Clarence, to which we see the boy give up and go home crying to his mama. This is what I mean by using the strategy of denying your opponent's targets, and is a strategy that you can use just like B-Rabbit in life and business. It in essence is all about analysing your opponent and taking away what contributes to their strength and their advantage, flipping the whole script and giving no place for them to attack. The overall premise is to negate the use of your opponent using their strengths against you. And by combining this with the death ground strategy, this is how Rabbit was able to flip the script and take that one shot to seize everything he ever wanted. And is exactly what you can do in order to achieve your utmost desires and dreams. By using the death ground strategy to where you put yourself in a position where you have no other alternative but to either fight or die. And by combining this with the deny them target strategy, this is what is going to allow you to get that one step ahead of your opponents and competition, and is what is going to grant you the ability to take that much more powerful and strategic approach towards your life and in the world of business. And that's how to think like B-Rabbit from 8 Mile. Now, like with all character breakdowns I do on the channel, I try to focus on what powerful strategies and principles that we can learn from these characters in order to be able to think that bit more strategically, whether that's in life or business. And if you are interested in learning more about these strategic strategies and principles that I cover, then make sure you click the link in the description to sign up for our newsletter. I mean, I always get asked to go much deeper into more principles and strategies, but there is only so much I can talk about in just one YouTube video. That's why for a nearly whole year now, I've been non-stop working on something that is going to absolutely blow you away. I mean, you think you learn a lot from the character breakdowns that I do now? Well, think again, because when I launch what I've been working on for you, I can tell you it is going to put you on that journey to becoming that master strategic thinker that you've always wanted to be. So if you are interested in what I've been working on, make sure you click the link in the description to sign up for our newsletter, as I will be announcing something on there much sooner than you think. And if you like this video, make sure you smash that like button and leave a comment below on what your thoughts and feelings are about B-Rabbit. Comment some of your favourite lessons and quotes from him, and let me know what character breakdown would you like to see next. And if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel, and to all our loyal subscribers, we are glad you are here. We do some of the best character breakdowns on the whole of YouTube, and we aim to produce at least one high quality animated video per week. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any golden knowledge. I'll see you soon.